Weeks back, we had the girls hockey matchup between Blaine and Centennial Spring Lake Park, the ultimate cat clash, but this sports den might be the ultimate sports den for cat clashes. Alongside Blythe Whaley filling in for Matt Dean this week, I am Ted LaRue, and not one, not two, not three, and they're all on the same day, Blythe, so you came to the right spot to kind of recap it. And we're going to start first on the hardwood here today for girls basketball. Centennial, Blaine's been at the top of the conference here for the last couple of weeks, and Centennial actually had beaten them the time before, so they were looking to make it 2 in a row earlier this week.
Yeah, so here they go, the cat clash. We have up first the ladies, of course. Ladies hoops last Thursday night, the Centennial Cougars visiting the Blaine Bengals, and this one delivered from start to finish. Centennial moving it early. Amelia Del Medico finds Addie Sears on the left wing, got it. The 3-ball splashes home. Centennial fierce on offense and defense. Lowinger picks the pocket, goes coast to coast to the goal line. Right-sided lay-in, count it. Rakuik says, I got it this time though. Lofts it up over to Cummings on the back door, high off the glass, and one opportunity. Centennial back to work. Lowinger kicks it to Taylor. Square up, nothing but net. Drive and kick. It's Sydney Schmitz finding Kate Lee. The 3 rattles home. Then the Cougars heat up. Addie Sears swings it to Kaylin Green on the left wing. Splash. Lee draws the defense, dishes to Del Medico on the left wing. 3 once more. Blaine fires back. It's Earhart draining one from deep. You'll see her get ready here as she puts this one through. And Cummings left alone. She's going to make them pay. You see her get it on that left wing. She puts this one through. But Engelhelt pops a 3 of her own, gets it here before half. 28-23 at the break. Del Medico going to find Schmitz on the baseline for another triple. Great awareness by Ritchie, attacking the rim, going all the way, and one. Lee feeds Lowinger, and one more to Earhart. Her 3 takes flight. Then Taylor finds Schmitz inside, kicked it back out to Lee, a right wing 3, pure. Centennial pours it on, outscoring Blaine 31-22 in the second half. The final 59-45. Centennial wins it. And of course, taking a look at Blaine, seeing them sit up top on the conference record, 7-3. Ted, we don't always see that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different, kind of flipped as far as who the perennial powers at the conference are. Of course, in this era, you're looking at Centennial. They've won a lot of section championships in the last, 5 to 7 year. Jamie Soboluk has done a great job with that program. And now you look at Centennial winning both of the matchups against Blaine this season. And so that's 2 of the 3 conference losses that Blaine has at the top of the league right now belong to Centennial, getting those wins. And then you kind of look at the Cougars, 2 of the 4 conference victories they have are beating Blaine. So that's kind of a little bit of opposite this season. And then, you look at coming up on January 27th. How about Blaine going to Spring Lake Park? North Metro TV will be there for that cat clash. And you look at SLP right now, one of 3 teams that have 10 wins so far this year. They've won 5 of 7 of their conference games. So we'll see what kind of happens in the next week. But that's Blaine Spring Lake Park. Of course, they're in different sections, but that Blaine Spring Lake Park matchup on the girls' hardwood could certainly have conference implications at the top of the Northwest Suburban. Yeah,
Blaine on the road for the next 3, so it's going to be interesting coming off of this loss after having a 2-game win streak prior. And Centennial and SLP both coming off the 2-game losing streak, finding a win in that last matchup. But of course, let's see the gentlemen. Here it is. Let's go. The cat clash for the gentlemen last Thursday night. Blaine at Centennial squaring off on the hardwood. It's Mills picking the pocket, finding Jemta. The spin cycle through the lane transition bucket sets the tone. Siemens driving and dishing, finding Lavick, proving the Bengals have some range. The freshman knocks down the corner triple. Centennial answers with Tristan Hansen, slicing through the D like butter. Makes this one look easy. Then Espinoza, hand in his face, no problem. That's a senior shot right there if I've ever seen one. Blaine goes back to the perimeter, this time Owen Clark for the deep wing. Pure. Cougars back on offense, and it's Espinoza calling his own number. Heat check activated, yes sir. Cougars cop it up at half. Mills turning defense into offense, and the layup is good. Clark drives and kicks to Gemta. Left wing Gem, he's gonna cash in. Second half, Centennial still feeling it from three land. Kokone puts down the tray. Ayeti in transition, full-blown bulldozer mode, absorbs the contact, finishes at the rim and one. Gazani steps in, left wing, nothing but net. And Kakoan over the top to Hansen, seals off the defender, count the bucket and the foul. Excellent two-man game right there. Espinoza, final strike, baseline three from the corner, but Blaine finishes strong. Siemens, spin move at the top, cuts the defenders, lays it in through the contact. Final score 75-69, Bengals win on the road.
It took a lot of grit from everybody on the team. If you look at the scoreboard, everybody was in double digits. Everyone was rebounding, passing, and just playing team ball. You know, they like to get on Shiloh a lot. He's a really good player. He's an all-conference type of player. They're hacking him a lot. It's a really physical game, so we had to come together as a team to kind of, you know, find other ways to score and play defense and rebound and all that.
We're a pretty good team. We have a lot of chemistry, so I think that.
As we take a look at boys hoops, Blaine, the Bengals hosting Rogers. This one turned into a showcase. Early on, Blaine establishes the tone inside. That's Ayeti catching on the block, finishing at the rim. Rogers. Vargas drifts to the right side baseline, buries the triple. But once Blaine finds tempo, the floor opens up. Siemens leaks out in transition. Then Mills weaving through traffic like he's got a police escort all the way to the cup. Defense collapses. Mills kicks it out. It's Gavin Olson, steps into the three and sinks it in rhythm. Ayeti stays aggressive, attacking downhill, count it, and the foul. Here he goes. Rogers tries to corner it off inside. Iosi threads the pass. The big man delivers and one. But Blaine keeps pouring it on. Gemta with the defender tight. Doesn't matter, he rises anyway. Splashes it in from deep. Halftime, Blaine up 36-27. But Blaine's range continues to cut like a knife as Olsen knocks it down. Gemta beats his man on the bounce. He finishes through contact and one. Rogers shows some resolve. Shady to Olowo. Soft touch off the glass plus the foul. But Ayeti throws on his cape, takes the defender 1v1. You saw him there for the three-point play opportunity. Siemens locating Clark. He scores the high arcer, but Clark gets to return the favor, kicking it out to Siemens. He lands a three of his own. Bengals don't let up. Ayeti takes it away at midcourt, coast to coast here, uncontested, and an empathetic dunk. But Lavick pouring in from the perimeter, as well as Ware proving the bank stays open from the top of the key three. The final, Blaine 86-47.
We did well today was picking up our energy in the second half, coming out playing harder, not letting them get no straight line drives, rebounding better, and just passing and moving, cutting. We just played better as a team in the second half. That's what got us a win.
In the second half, we definitely picked up our energy a lot more, especially on the defensive side, and we just had a ton of steals, and it helped us get a big lead and helped us ultimately get the dub.
And that last game, you saw Ayeti leading all scorers with 21, but as we take a look at the schedule, Blaine undefeated in conference play. Pretty impressive start for them, Ted.
I mean, that's an impressive start is really putting it mildly. It is the best start in 40 years for Blaine boys basketball. This is unprecedented success in what Bernie Ward is doing with this Bengal team right now. It's a team that can score. They're putting up 80-plus points, and I believe it's 3 of their last 4 games. So this is a team that could always score the basketball like we've been talking about here throughout SportsDen this season, but it's the defense. Clamping down on the defensive side of the ball has been a big key for Blaine's success so far. He's got 3 players that are averaging in double digits. Of course, you have Shiloh Aite that can just take over a game at any time that he decides to. He can shoot it from the perimeter. He can break down a defender and get into the paint and finish there. He can get to the line and get extra points there. Henry Siemens is a guy that can stretch the floor and get knock shots down from downtown. He's averaging nearly 16 points a game this season. Tula Gemta, you've seen that. He has some long athleticism outside with 11.4. You've got Owen Clark that can step back and shoot threes. And then you've got so much depth kind of going down to your bench. This is a Blaine team, and if you kind of look at what's coming up for this Bengals squad, you look at Armstrong coming up. They're sitting about middle of the road in the conference. St. Paul Central on the road, and then Spring Lake Park. That's another one. That Blaine Spring Lake Park, of course, girls and boys play in opposite locations, but that is going to be at the Bengal Gym on January 27th, and we covered Spring Lake Park earlier this season, and that's a deep team, and Oliver Major has a really good squad. So those are two really good teams right now on top of the Northwest Suburban. Can't wait to see them tangle here in a little bit.
Yeah, 7 different Bengals hitting the 3 in that last matchup we just saw, but definitely impressive, like you said, Ted. But of course, we go from the hardwood. We have to take a look at the ice also.
Yeah, we got some good hockey teams in this area, both on the girls' side and on the boys' side. We're going to begin on the boys' side as we dive in to our highlights here from the last week within our area. Tuesday, SLPCR looking for back-to-back wins, hosting Armstrong Cooper. Less than 3 minutes from puck drop, Jackson Barsness. How about this nice backhanded goal? It's his 10th of the year. Ashton Ryerson a little help to kind of paddle it back to him there, and it's 1-0 Panthers. They keep it going. Middle of the first, Ian Aylen, safety on the state championship football team, finding the smallest window in the mansion through a dinner party, and it's 2-0 for the White Sweaters. Wings starting to fly late in the first. James Craigthorpe fires. Goalie Alex Wicks couldn't get all of his glove on it, goes bar down, 2-1 after 1. Second period, little peekaboo pass here from behind the net. Nicholas Anderson, one of his 2 assists. Craigthorpe's second goal within 5 minutes. Wings tie it up at 2. Now they're on the power play. Here's that second assist from Anderson across the rink to Brady Northrup, and he snipes it up top shelf. 3 straight goals for the Wings. They've got the lead. Anderson's sick of passing at this point. He outskates 2 SLPCR defenders. That's a 3-point night with a goal. Armstrong Cooper by 2. The Wings finish it off with an empty net goal. 5 straight to end this one. 5-2 the final. Armstrong Cooper victors over SLPCR. Let's skate our way to Thursday. Cat clash at the Centennial Sports Arena. Bengals, Cougars. This rivalry is always a blast, man. Midway through the first, defense turning to offense. Grady Bouch does it all. The poke and the point. Bengals, how about the one-man effort taking the 1-0 lead. Second period, Caden Johnson here fights off a Bengal defender. One hand, that's all he needs here. Sneaks it past the tender through the 5-hole for the tie. Some fancy stick work there. Third period, this is where things get a little bit spicy. Another Cougars defensive zone turnover leads to good times at Blaine High. Sam Pewter fires it off from distance. The All Blues ahead 2-1. Bengals up 2 men on the 5-on-3. They take advantage. Get that thing to the top and let her rip. Tanner Ferdag is 4th of the year. Bengals +2, feeling good. There were 6 penalties in the third. Now the roles are reversed. Cougars with the 5-on-3. Gavin Cunningham to Caden Johnson, his second goal of the night. Cougars within 1. 30 seconds left on the following 5-on-4. Here's your controversy. Scramble in front of the net. It appears the Cougars got the goal. Refs kind of huddle up to talk about it. Take a look yourself. It looks like the puck hits the back of the net. Officials, no whistle. The pandemonium tempers flare after this one. And the score holds Blaine 3, Centennial 2, the final.
Yeah, every game's the same. We work 100% no matter what, and we treat every game as it's a championship game.
You got the goal scoring going in the first period. Talk about that goal and kind of how you got the thing going for the Blaine Bengals tonight.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened without my line mates pushing the D to the middle. With there, I was able to take the puck. Line mate went back door, so he was always an option, but their D overplayed it, so I just took the shot.
I got to ask about this thing here at the end of the game, this goal, no goal, maybe it was a goal down here. Can you tell me what happened here?
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't out there. I wasn't really sure. I don't even know. I didn't see the puck go in, but then it went all the way down, and I thought we scored, but I don't know. It was ref's decision there.
The Cougars and the Bengals find themselves within striking distance right now at the conference ground as we're a little bit past the midway point here of the boys hockey regular season. That was an emotional cat clash on Thursday, as you saw during those highlights. The Bengals fell to conference leader Elk River Zimmerman 5-4 on Saturday. Brody Lockman had 2 goals for Blaine, so kind of pushing the best in the league to the absolute limit here. But as far as Centennial goes, we're going to find out if they can also hang with the class of the conference. They're traveling to Furniture and Things Arena, one of the best arenas, one of the best barns in the area, on Thursday. And then they're back home against that same Elk River Zimmerman team on Tuesday. So 2 of the next 3 games are between the Cougars and the Elks coming up. Now, after a Tuesday road game at Mountains View, Blaine plays 2 times in 3 days against Champlain Park. So a little bit of a nightcap home and home there between the Rebels and the Bengals. SLPCR tied St. Cloud 2-2 over the weekend. Lakeville North and Anoka are up for the Panthers. So that's what things are looking at the boys' side. Let's kind of shift over to the girls' side. We go to Tuesday night, and how about a Tuesday night feature at Fogarty Arena, Blaine hosting Osseo Park Center. Get the axe out, it's time to chop. Isabella Hunter offers up the yoke. Maya Hunter chops it down on the redirect. There you see it, stick to ice, 1-0 Bengals. You know, it didn't take long for the Stars to respond here. Charlotte Olajar beats everyone. Nets are team leading 13th of the year. We're all tied at 1 apiece. Bengal power play, 6 minutes to go in the opening period. Mila Lindholm scores 2-1 after an action-packed first period. 3 goals in the opening frame. Early second, OPC power play. You just fire it on net. Good things can usually happen. Dakota McAlpine credited for the goal. There she is, 24 down there in the crease. Deflects off her into the back of the net in that massive bodies. Under a minute left here in the second. A 3-on-1. Kalei Johnson, Kaya Peck, yeah, you betcha, for the lead there for Blaine. Nice, beautiful passing. Maya Gunter gets her 2nd goal of the game here on the empty net. 3rd of the year. Bengals win a fun one, 4-2. The final score on Tuesday night.
Yeah, we were able to just get hyped up in the locker room and able to just make sure we had goals and just play our best, make sure just we had fun.
Talk about your goal that you got in the second period. That was late in the period. It felt like OPC had some momentum on their side. Then you got that opportunity there with Coley Johnson to get that goal. Talk about that goal.
So we had a girl going down the ice. We had 3 going down the ice on 3-on-1, and Coley was driving left, and I just went to the net. Beautiful pass to the defense, and one time it in. It was very nice.
Fortunately, we were not able to get the video of this game, but Centennial Spring Lake Park battled Holy Family for the 2nd time this year on Saturday, and for the 2nd time this year, they came out with a win. This was number 1 versus number 2 in the Let's Play Hockey Class AA rankings in girls hockey out there in Victoria. Catherine Gina got the game-winning goal. She also had a goal back on New Year's Eve when these two met in a holiday tournament. 2 out of her 3 goals this season have come against the former number 1 team in the state. We talked about it last week, those top 5 forwards that CSLP has. She's not in that group, and she's still playing pretty good against some of the top teams, some of the top competition out there. But speaking of tough competition, it doesn't stop there. Number 3 ranked Minnetonka awaits on January 22nd. You fast forward past these next 3 games. Hill Murray is number 4 in the state. That's on January 31st. And then we're going to have the game between Centennial, Spring Lake Park, and Andover. The Huskies are the number 14 team in the state of Minnesota. So CSLP taking on some really good competition right now. Blaine topped White Bear Lake 6-1 on Saturday. Rogers and Egan await at home at Fogarty Arena this week. Let's shift and let's talk about some wrestling. Let's go to the mat on Friday. You know, it was Centennial, Coon Rapids, and Osseo, but we're going to focus on the duel as a part of this triangular. We start first at 107. Low-scoring stalemate until the 3rd period. Clayton Wick takes control, gets the fall, and he ends up taking the first match. Callan Shellstead took control early at 114 to take a 12-1 dominant win for the Cougars, makes it 2 in a row, and the 10-0 Cougars team advantage. At 121, Evan Bosch held the lead late here against Alex Chang of Coon Rapids. 6-2 in the third period. He finished it off by taking the early decision, and the Cougars are out to a 22-0 team advantage at this point, absolutely dominating on the road. Nixon Glenn grabs the leg of Centennial's Easton Martin, holds on for Coon Rapids' first win of the night, taking it 9-3. Ian Shelstead at 139 took the wheel from start to finish. 14-1, the final tally in this matchup. Go to 145. Cardinal grappler Jack Burdenstein takes the domination the other way this time. Tech ball after a 17-1 lead in the second period. Here at 152, Cougars get back on the track. Parker Leader gets the shoulders of the mat. Cougars up 33-8 at this point. 10th ranked Jack Rugensager of Centennial showing everybody why Gavin Conway didn't stand a chance. We go over now to 172. This is Grant Moffitt falls short. Cardinals get to double digits now from a team score perspective, trailing 45-11, 2 classes to go. Here at 215, Carter Stuckey gets pinned as the Cardinals starting to gain a little bit of late momentum at this point in time. See, hooking the leg, flipping it over, that'll certainly get you some points. But the heavyweights go the way of the Cougars. They finish strong. Braden Bosch puts the finishing touches on a dominant dual victory, 51-15 for Centennial.
As we swim on over to the pool to see the Cat Clash, the fresh water, sharp execution, and clutch moments across the board, Spring Lake Park and Blaine delivered a complete swim and dive showdown. The tone in the pool was set early by SLP's varsity medley relay, touching first in 1:50.75. Clean exchanges, smooth turns, and early momentum. But we head to the diving well, and Jonathan Kambata sets the standard here. The meet best 183.85, crisp takeoffs, clean entries, and big moments. Blaine's depth off the board followed, but steady dives and bonus points created momentum swings that kept this meet tight. But back to the pool, Isaac Wicks was in command, winning the 200 IM in 2:10.47, then coming back to take a 100 breaststroke in 1:07.14. Steady and composed wall to wall for sure. Blaine answered the speed. Jared Magnuson surged home the 100 freestyle, clocking 52.82. But SLP able to finish this one out, 98
step
to
up, give a huge amount of effort. They came out of the water like almost hyperventilating, all red, and just almost lying on the floor. And I think that's amazing to see as a captain, like seeing everyone push themselves and give an equal effort.
I think for me personally, to hopefully make it to state, and then for the team just to keep pushing further and further, getting faster, and hopefully getting as many people to sections as we can and doing well there.
A lot of impressive matchups we've been able to see, Ted, and the most important part, of course, those Cat Clashes. I'm really looking forward to January 27th. Matt Dean and I on the call for that one, and it's also my half birthday, so what could be better than that? Cat Clashes, half birthday celebrations.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We got some good teams that are really out there down the stretch. We've been talking about it through the winter. What Blaine boys basketball is doing, unprecedented success. We talked about the best start for them in 40 years. I mean, Death, Texas, Centennial, Spring Lake Park Girls Hockey kind of doing their thing right now at the top of the state. Maybe this is the year that they finally put it together and maybe win that state championship. I mean, 2 wins over the #1 team in the state. They're really kind of staking their claim to that top spot right now. But, you know, we're going to have all the highlights back here once again next week over here on SportsDen. So for Blythe Whaley, I'm Ted LaRue. We'll see you next week here on SportsDen.